Good Erev Shabbos, everyone. This week's Parsha is out of Shoftim. In Parshas Shoftim, we have a mitzvah towards the end of the Parsha in which Moshe Rabbeinu tells Klal Yisrael, when we go to war, to battle, and we see our enemies, and we see their troops, and we see their chariots, we see their horses, and we see how numerous they are, how powerful, how skilled they are, we should not be concerned. We should not be afraid. Because Hashem, our God, is with us, he who took us out of Egypt. And then Moshe says, as we approach the battle, before we leave our borders, a Kohen who is designated for just this purpose, the Kohen approaches us, and the Kohen says to Klal Yisrael, he says, it says, V'nigash HaKohen, the Kohen approaches, V'diber el ha'am, he speaks to the nation, he speaks to them. V'omar alehem, and he says to them, Shema Yisrael, listen Israel, you are now approaching on this day war against your enemies. Don't let your hearts be weak, don't be afraid, don't be confused, don't be broken, don't be shattered, because the Lord your God, he goes with you to fight your battles against your enemies to bring you salvation. So Rashi notes that in the verse it says that the Kohen speaks to the nation and says to them, Diber v'omar. What are these two things that he is saying? What is the v'diber and what is the v'omar? V'omar, we know. It says, and he shall say to them, Shema Yisrael, hear Israel, that God is going to be with you, and therefore we should not be afraid and we shouldn't be concerned. This it says clearly in the Pasuk. But what does it mean the Kohen speaks to the nation? What does he say? So Rashi quotes from the Gemara Masechta Sotah, in which it tells us that we find the word v'diber over here, to speak, and we also find the same expression when Moshe spoke to us at Sinai. Moshe Yedaber, Moshe will speak, Dibur. Just like there Moshe spoke in Lashon HaKodesh, the holy language of Hebrew, here too when the Kohen addresses the Chayalim, the soldiers, he speaks to them in Lashon HaKodesh, Hebrew. Now that's very important because the Hebrew language is not just a mere means of communication, but it's Lashon HaKodesh. It is a holy language. This is sacred. So the saying the word v'diber is conveying to us that the Kohen addresses Klal Yisrael in Hebrew, Lashon HaKodesh. Now that's very nice. But nevertheless, the verse says, and he speaks to the nation. He speaks in Hebrew, but he speaks. What does he say? If the entire intent is to tell us that he's supposed to deliver his remarks in Hebrew, then it could have said the Kohen approaches, V'diber aleim, and he says to them, Shema Yisrael. He says, listen, Israel, don't be afraid, God is with you. But it mentions his speaking twice, Diber and Omar. When he speaks in Hebrew the first time, what does he say? The great commentary, the Holy Klei Yakar, says that this of which we see a connection between the Kohen speaking to the soldiers and Moshe addressing us at Sinai. He says this is not just to teach us that the Kohen speaks in Hebrew, but just as Moshe Rabbeinu spoke words of Torah to Klal Yisrael at Sinai, he was delivering the 10 Commandments and teaching us the Torah. Similarly, the Kohen shall speak words of Torah. The Kohen shall sit down with Klal Yisrael and study Torah. They'll have a shiur. And in addition, he will then say to them, listen, Israel, don't be afraid, God is with you. Yoka says that we find by Yehoshua that there was a defeat in one of the battles, and an angel came to Yeshua and said, Yehoshua, the night before the battle, Klal Yisrael did not engage in the appropriate, proper Torah study. They studied Torah without a doubt, but they should have done more. And Yeshua accepted the criticism. And indeed, next time they went to battle, they were immersed in Torah study the night before the battle. Now, what was Klal Yisrael doing before this battle? They studied Torah with Yeshua, and then they weren't partying, chas v'sholom. They were preparing. They were taking care of their needs as far as their weapons, as far as strategy is concerned. They were engaged and focused on the task that was before them. And nevertheless, the Malach says this battle was lost because you were spending time preparing for the battle. You should have been further, more in-depth study. You should have been immersed in Torah study with all of Klal Yisrael. How do we understand this? That's how you prepare for battle? That the night before we're going to have everybody sitting down and we're going to have a shiur, we're going to go through a topic and we're going to learn for hours upon hours? That's a beautiful thing. We do it Shavuos night. We do this before a battle. It's very hard to comprehend. Klal says, Torah study is not just a mitzvah. Torah study is not just enabling us to understand what the laws are, what it is that God expects of us. Torah study is the essence for the reason of creation. God created this world to be able to deliver his Torah unto mankind, who will receive the Torah, cherish the Torah, embrace the Torah, observe the Torah, and study the Torah. When we study the Torah, it's not like studying a topic, a different subject. The Torah is something that nourishes the soul. The Torah opens the mind. The Torah seems to be a source of nourishment, food for the entire human being, body and soul, mind and spirit. The Torah, in addition, it becomes a shield, the Klal says. It is the Torah study itself that not only uplifts man, gives us knowledge of why we are fighting, who we are, what is our relationship with God, what is our purpose, why is this battle upon us. Not only does it give us a clarity of vision, but it causes our souls to blossom and to flourish, and thereby connecting us with Hashem, and that creates a shield. Every warrior, he goes to battle with a shield, whether it's body armor or if it was an actual shield that they held. The Torah, the Klal says, this is the shield of Klal Yisrael. And if there are those who maybe can't study Torah, they can say the Shema. And that's why the Kohen says, Shema Yisrael. He could have just said, and he speaks to them, you're approaching the battle, don't be afraid. But first he says, Shema, listen. Well, don't you think they're listening? This is the Kohen Gadol. If the 5-star general would be addressing the troops, don't you think they would listen? And this is the Kohen who is designated. Klal Yisrael is not listening. Rashi tells us he's conveying to them, Shema, say the Shema with all your heart and soul. Recognize the oneness of the true soul creator and master of all that exists, who is Hashem Elokeinu, our God. And he is the only truth and the only reality that exists in this universe. If we cannot engage our minds in Torah study, we can immerse our souls in the Shema. This is the shield of Klal Yisrael. As we know today, with the war that continues in Israel, in Gaza, there are those who study Torah day and night. And there are those who designate their Torah study that it should be a merit and a shield for every soldier and every member of Klal Yisrael throughout the world. And even if we find that we we don't have the time or the ability to attend a shir, which really everybody can attend some shir, even going online, but to say the Shema, to think what we're saying, to recognize that we have this unique relationship and bond with Hashem. Hashem, the creator and the one who sustains, is Elokeinu, our special unique bond. This is Hashem, who is Echad, who is one and will be recognized as one by all of humanity when the Mashiach is revealed. This is how we can participate and help our soldiers, our brothers, our sister in Eretz Yisrael. May the Almighty give us the strength to continue with our psalms, with our prayers, with our Torah study, attending a shir, taking 5 minutes and going online and hearing a proper, true Torah shir. And in merit of this, may the Almighty bless us with peace for all of Klal Yisrael. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay Jewish. Have a wonderful Shabbat.